Hey YouTube, it's Simply Breezy, and today we are going to be doing some skill testing on Sigrun, the Light Valkyrie, on Laundry Day. We're going to see what the scaling is like on attack percent on Sigrun to see if it is actually beneficial to run an attack percent bracer or bring some more HP or survivability or even accuracy on her to land more debuffs. So these are the stats I'm running on my Sigrun right now, missing a bracer piece. We are bracerless. So what we're going to do is we have two bracers we picked out that are not going to affect the damage scaling in any way other than attack percent. We have this has higher crit rate, which we're only counting crits anyways. It's not going to change the amount of damage the crit does because there's no crit damage boost on it. And then we have an HP percent one that we can, honestly, we can test it without the HP percent if we really wanted. We can go test it right now without this and then test it with the attack and see what the difference is in the overall damage of two crits. One with an added 47% attack and one without. And we can throw the HP on and do it like that afterwards as well and see if it hits similar with HP as it did with attack. So we're just testing the attack scaling, really. I understand that we have added attack already from other substats and other gear slots. That's expected. We're just going to see what the addition of that one bracer being a plus 12 or plus 15% attack piece attack percent bracer does. So to start the test, we are going to hop into Adventure and go to Board 7, Stage 5 on Legend, and we are just going to run it with just Sigrun, and we're going to cast one skill on the crystal at the beginning and see how much damage it does. We're aware the party's not full, we're going to continue, and we're just going to calculate the damage on each of her two skills. Since her third skill, Thunderstorm, unfortunately does not hit that crystal, and this is the cleanest, easiest way to test that I found out. We're not going to test that, we're just testing the scaling, so just two skills is fine. So we're just going to cast one skill and quit, and we saw the yellow text, so we know it was a crit rate, or a critical hit. And we're going to look at the damage report and know we did 6,918 damage. We're going to take a note. Almost 7,000 damage on a crit without anything attached in the bracer gear slot. We're going to replay, and we're going to do the same thing for her Tornado, skill 2. We'll mark that down, and then we'll go attach the attack percent bracer and come back and see what the scaling difference is on crits only.
My man.
And that was not a critical hit, so we're going to have to retry this, guys, and that's okay. My man, Yai1234, thank you for the follow and the support. Yes, we're streaming, guys. We're making a YouTube video live on the stream. We can look at the damage report. Non-critical was 5,000. We'll try and get a critical hit here and take that damage down as a note to compare. L433. I have both shoulders plus 12, not plus 15. But we'll load back in, guys. We have some decently high crit rate. I think it's in the 90%, so that's a little interesting, but there we go. Looked like 8,000 something on the crit rate for the Tornado. Yep, 8,800. All right. So we'll head to the main menu. We'll attach the attack percent bracer. Not that one. Yes, this one. Yep, because it all it has is crit rate. So it's going to make it easier for us to get those crits to test with, but it does not increase the attack or the crit damage or the attack speed at all to adjust any variables in the damage scaling that we're testing here. So we can hop back over, see how much damage we do on both of those skills with the attack percent gear on. And then we can test it with the HP, see what the differences are. So we'll hop over and just cast Thunderbolt, the first skill, one time. Unfortunately, it didn't. We got an auto attack and it didn't look like a crit, so we'll be trying that one more time. And then maybe, yeah, no crit. So no crit, guys. So we got to try it again. And this is how we test things. This is how we learn, right? By testing things in the game and doing the math or just looking at the numbers roughly. You know, how much depends on how much work you want to put into it. But I'm very interested, and I know a lot of people in the community have asked me, are very interested to see what the attack percent scaling on Sigrun is. Another no crit, you guys. That's hilarious. But a lot of people are interested in knowing this as well as myself. So we're testing it tonight. And we'll figure out what it looks like. We'll answer the question, is an attack percent bracer on Sigrun necessary or not? And I'm only going to test it on Sigrun on the Light Valkyrie. There's a crit, okay. And not Rhoda, the Nature Valkyrie. Because I'm going to assume that they're the same family of units. They're going to have the same scaling. So 8,322. So it's about 2,400 more damage, roughly, with the attack percent. Which is about a third. So 33% attack scaling, roughly. On the first skill. It could be different on the second. And then we'll do the tornado next. Looks like that crit for about 10,000. Yep, 10,500. And 92. And that is about... about 1,800, 1,700, 1,800 more. So not as high a scaling on the tornado. So now we'll put the HP slot on and see what the difference is. So we're going to remove the attack percent bracer. We have an HP one here with no additional attack speed or crit damage. We'll equip that. So we should be doing every single variable is the exact same minus the attack. So we should have very similar or identical numbers to when we didn't have the bracer on. We haven't really added anything from the bracerless test. That's what we should be expecting. 6,918 damage on the Thunderbolt and 10,000 or 8,800 on the Tornado. Assuming we can crit. Because it did take us a couple chances to crit before. There's a crit, okay. So with the HP, we have 6,989. It's within 100 damage, you guys. We had 6,918, now we have 6,989. So it's about 70 damage away. That's super close. Okay. So that's a, I mean, it's a pretty reliable, I mean, it's what we expected, but we want to make sure. So now we have a whole lot more tankiness, a lot more HP on the unit, and we're doing about... I mean, 1,400 less damage, right? Because it's almost 7,000. Yeah, it's about 1,400 less damage with the attack percent. And then Tornado should be the same thing, very similar and close. $8,895. 95 damage difference. Yep, so that's what we expected, but it's right. It was an unnecessary test to add the HP percent bracer. But what we know now, if we do the math, So we can round up and say the tornado did 10,600. 1,800 damage difference. So 1,800 out of 8,800. Guys, we're going to pull up a calculator. Roughly 20%. Roughly 20% damage increase on the attack scaling. Okay. On Tornado. Then we can do the same thing with the Thunderbolt. So we have 6,900 compared to 8,300. It's a 1,400 difference. The exact same number. 20%, but I'm gonna make sure that one's right. Divided by... Yeah, it's a 20% increase in damage when we add a plus 12 attack percent gear slot. So it might be higher on, right, it might be higher damage on a plus 15, but it should be the same percent scaling. So if that's enough damage for you guys, then you can certainly add the attack slot. I mean, I think it's enough for me. I'd rather have that additional, you know, 2,000 damage on each hit. If we're casting it a handful of times, it's going to add up in a raid. In PvP, it might be different. You might want to decide that that's not quite enough for you, and you like the HP percent over it for a little more survivability. If you want to use it on defense with dazzling, however you want to take it, this is the math. 20% scaling on attack for Valkyries. For Sigrun, at least, I'd expect it to be the same on Rhoda. I hope that you guys found the video useful, found some information on it. If you have questions or if my math was wrong, care to correct me, please do. You can leave a comment below, like and subscribe. As always, I'll see you guys in the next one.